November Towers by Mike Muncy. Part 2. Floor by Floor. Isaac didn't sleep that first night. Between the constant awareness of the altitude, the eerie glow of the moonlight through the glass, and the faint humming from the tower itself, he lay awake wrapped in a weighted blanket, half hoping the whole thing was a fever dream. By morning, however, he was still there, and the tower was still watching. The elevator chimed softly at 7 a.m. A breakfast tray rolled into the penthouse on its own, guided by invisible tech. Pancakes shaped like compass roses, fruit arranged in a spiral, coffee that somehow tasted like adventure. He tried not to feel charmed. A handwritten card read, "You've made it through night one. Now, let the exploration begin. A.N." Isaac stood in the elevator an hour later, determined to explore. Maybe if he got to know the building, it would stop feeling like a giant pressure cooker in the clouds. "Floor 10, he said aloud. The doors opened into a lush, humid jungle. He blinked. Trees stretched up to the ceiling, and vines hung like chandeliers. The air smelled of earth and blooming orchids. A man in a safari jacket turned from feeding a toucan. "Ah, you must be the new Mr. November. Phineas spoke of you. Well, theoretically." "Theoretically?" He said, "If anyone ever inherits this place, tell them they're standing on imported soil from the Amazon. Real trees, real birds, but no mosquitoes. You're welcome." Floor 10 was the biodome. Isaac spent 20 minutes wandering among bioluminescent mushrooms and singing frogs before moving on. Floor 18 resembled an old European cafe square, complete with cobblestone streets, a sky-painted ceiling, and waiters who spoke only in riddles. Floor 25 housed a silent library with books that hadn't even been published yet. He picked one at random, The Future Notes of Isaac November, but he shoved it back on the shelf before it could get weird. But not every floor was enchanting. On floor 33, the air was cold and filled with static. The hallway lights flickered, and the door to apartment 3301 was scorched and locked. A placard read, "Do not disturb, ever." On his way back to the elevator, a man with mirrored sunglasses and a robotic arm stepped out of a side door and offered him a sly grin. "Careful, new blood. The tower has a sense of humor and a memory." "What does that mean?" Isaac asked. But the man was already gone. When he returned to the penthouse, he found a journal on the glass desk. It hadn't been there before. On the first page, in elegant handwriting, were the words, "The tower is a story told in floors. Read wisely, trust sparingly, and never skip the 13th. And beneath it, a map of the tower with the 13th floor circled in red ink. Isaac looked out at the city beyond the glass, heart pounding. He was starting to suspect this wasn't just about surviving a month. It was about discovering what Phineas had really built, and why. By Mike Muncy.